Knock knock, who's there? It is a demon. There is a demon at my door right now waiting for me to open it. Could be a mischievous fairy. The magical creature does not matter to this story. What matters is that I'm about to enter a conflict with a magical being and I do not want them to hold any power over me. I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about here. If that magical creature learns my true name, then legends say I'm finished. Here's the problem. I don't even know what the hell my true name is, and I'd like to figure it out. Because you might think your true name is simple. Your true name is the one on your ID. I disagree. Because here's the thing. Nobody ever calls me the name that is on my government ID. Nobody ever thinks of me by the name that is on my government ID. I don't introduce myself by the name on my government ID, and nobody ever mentions the name on my government ID to someone else when talking about me. I don't think it can be my true name. There's room for me to be wrong about this, and I don't know if there are any mischievous fairies watching, so let me give you an example with a fake name just to be safe. If you are born Alexander, and all of your legal documents call you Alexander, but you only ever introduce yourself as Alex, and people call you Alex, and you think of yourself as Alex, then I feel like your name is surely Alex. I'm in that same boat, where my birth certificate shows one name, but my entire life I've always been called the shortened version of that name by everyone. I don't know why my parents bothered to go all out for the premium character space when they had no intention of ever saying that name out loud. You might be of the opinion that Alex and Alexander are actually the same name, but I've seen the same thing where people go by their middle names their entire life, because one of their parents has the same first name. So they introduce themselves by their middle name because their first name is not their name and nobody calls them that. It just doesn't make sense for something that you're never called to be your true name just because your local government thinks so. If the government gets the final say in what all our true names are, then surely they could just make some up without telling any of us, and now my true name's Ziplob, and only the government knows that. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't work. Yeah, just a minute! Okay, we need to hurry through this hypothetical a bit for made-up and hypothetical reasons. It's my pizza. I think my pizza's here. Don't want it to get cold. The other idea would be that your true name is your oldest name. The first thing you were called. The first sound made in reference to the entity that is you is your true name. Well, if that's the case, I'm out of luck too. A little bit of chimney intel for you guys. My first name is not Neil. But it was for like 2 days after I was born. Then it got changed to what it is today and what it's been for the past 63 years. I don't know if true age is a problem to share either, so I'm pretending I'm a bit younger than I really am for the sake of this hypothetical. Probably a single-digit number of people ever knew that I was called Neil. And honestly, probably only one of them remembers it. Nobody calls me Neil, nobody thinks of the name Neil when conjuring my visage. Nobody talks about me using the name Neil, and I wouldn't respond to the name Neil if it was called out. In fact, they changed it so early that I'm pretty sure there is no documentation that exists anywhere that says I was ever called Neil, because there's a waiting period after a birth before the name on the certificate is locked in. Surely my true name can't be Neil. And I mean, I really hope not, because I didn't use a fake replacement this time, and I've been saying it out loud, and my door is right over there, and if I can hear the giggling, they can probably hear me talking in this hypothetical scenario. So, new idea, okay? New one. Maybe your true name is whatever you call yourself. Maybe your true name is the name you think of when you think about yourself. This makes the most sense to me. It's probably the most reasonable reason so far, and it also means that your true name can change throughout your life. Problem. One small problem. I don't think of myself by only one name. I mean, do any of you? You've all got usernames. Chimney is my real name. It's not my oldest name, it's not my only name, but Chimney is one of my real names. I regularly think of myself and refer to myself as Chimney, among other names. So do I just have like 6 true names? That's not fair. It'd be so easy for a demon I swindled a week ago to get them. Does it just need to get one of them? Or is the power diluted across all the names and you need to collect all 6 of my true names, hypothetically? And I mean, what if I always thought of myself as Wendrop? You know, what if I always thought, Wendrop should probably go check that door is locked right now. 1 second, actually. We're good. What if I always thought of myself internally by a name that I never told anybody? It doesn't seem right for my true name to be one that nobody knows about. One that nobody uses to get my attention when I'm running from them, or thinks of when remembering who stole their offerings to the spirit realm, or says out loud when describing me to an upset bunch of spirits. How can my true name be something that only I know about and use totally privately? Surely that means your true name can't just be the one you consider yourself, if it doesn't make sense for it to be based on just that at the extremes. So maybe, alright, maybe your true name is the name that the largest number of people consider it to be. That makes sense, right? Wrong. That doesn't make any sense. How many people know Markiplier's full name? A lot, but probably millions less than only know him as Markiplier. This isn't new with usernames either, the same is true of stage names. Worse yet, I have a worse example for you, because how often do we make up a name for a historical figure that we never learned the name of? Who was Jack the Ripper? Oh, Jack the Ripper. True identity revealed? Jack the Ripper. Way more people know that entity by the name Jack the Ripper. That's their true name now, if we say that your true name is based on how many people think of you by that name. And David Schwimmer's true name is the guy who plays Ross. Popular mispronunciations? Nope, that's the true name now, sorry dude. What if I die and 400 years later, people start referring to me as George Demon Pincher? And that becomes the popular name for this historical figure that nobody knows very much about, beyond that he existed and pinched a demon. Is that my true name, even though it'll be said for the first time centuries after my death? My very happy death of old age, by the way, we're at least 30 years off until I'm 95, and I might go even further. So could it be that your true name doesn't even exist in your lifetime under the right circumstances? What if you die and humanity is wiped out and someone finds your fossilized remains millions of years later and they call you, like, the crab person? Guess what? You're walking around thinking your name's Stephanie. Wrong, you're the crab person. You just haven't learned that yet. So, okay, true names. I think it can't be based only on what's on your ID. I think it can't be based only on what you were called first. I think it can't be based only on what you call yourself, and I think it can't be based on what the largest number of people identify your entity as. So what does decide a true name? By demon and fairy standards, I'm talking. Could they get Alex with the Alexander, or would they need to know that actually these days they go by Al? Could they get me with the Neil? Probably not, right? Could they get me with Chimney? What the hell is my true name, and how do I keep it a secret? Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
Idiot just gave me their true name. Game over, I win.